Recording in progress.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our council meeting today. Thank you for coming, to our staff and all of our guests. I want to just say today that we are having power flickering issues. So if something happens to our video, sit tight. It'll come back on, or possibly you can watch it tomorrow. So I have a reporting out of closed. Got a resolution moved by Councillor Gunson, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, that the Council of the Town of Minto receives the closed session report regarding personal matters about an unidentifiable individual, including municipal employees, community service structure for information. All in favor of that motion? That's carried. Thank you. The previous council minutes, I've got a resolution by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, that the minutes of the town of Minto, May 20th, 2025, closed session meeting, and May 20th, 2025, regular council meeting be approved. All in favor of that motion? It's carried. Thank you. Resolution, Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Gunson, that the Town of Minto Council convene into committee of the whole. All in favor of that motion? Carried. Thank you. Good afternoon, folks. So we have no public meetings and no delegations. Public question period. The mayor, as chair of the meeting, has a duty to preserve order and maintain decorum throughout the meeting. Although council strives to hear and be responsive to residents' concern, in order to preserve order, maintain decorum, and comply with the town's procedural bylaw, I wish to caution any participants in question period that questions that use discourteous language will not be permitted. Questions that seek policies or bylaws outside the town's jurisdiction, including policies or bylaws that might violate human rights legislation, will not be permitted. Anything that constitutes speeches or statements not in the form of a question will not be permitted. Repeat questions will not be permitted, including the repetition of questions from prior meetings. And all persons shall be limited to no more than 2 questions. So we have public question period open. Do we have any questions in the house tonight? Emmeline, are you going to be okay?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Seeing none, then we'll move along to correspondence. We have 2 items. Bill 5. Both Bill 5 and the Senior Center for Excellence. Anything that we want to discuss in reference to those 2 items? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Anderson.
I find this, I suppose most of us do, Bill 5 somewhat concerning. I don't know if we would like to write a letter. I don't know if it'll make any difference, but I find it very disturbing. We're looking at environmental hazards. We're looking at taking away environmental protections and endangered animals. We're invading indigenous rights. There's just so many things that are wrong with this based on our supposed democratic system of governance. I don't know how everybody else. I will be in the queue. Sorry.
Yes, I would certainly go along with that statement. Got kind of immersed in reading about that the last couple of days, and it is, it's frightful actually. And I hate to say that our premier is acting like the fellow from down south, but that's kind of the way it seems, and it needs to stop. I mean, he doesn't need to govern like this. So I am strongly opposed to Bill 5.
Councilor Elliott, go ahead.
I agree with all you had to say about, both of you had to say about Bill 5. I'm concerned about it too, but I think what we can do is just accept what we've got forward here and agree to it. Side, as long as we supported this resolution.
Is that your wish?
Yeah, I would
Okay.
think.
Okay.
I want to support it,
If we
whether we,
support it, then we've got everything else going on.
right.
We have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Zimmerman. We were fortunate enough, our CAO and I, and along with some other mayors, were in Queens Park yesterday and during question period, and it was a lengthy discussion about it. The Premier was asked to rescind and start again and try and get it right. He was asked that about 5 times.
And their response was,
The Premier wasn't there. The Deputy Premier answered it, but they're well aware that people are concerned about it. I know that the warden of the county also wrote a letter voicing his displeasure. So the motion is, so we'll pass the motion first, Anne-Louise, can you read it?
That Council of the Town of Minto supports the correspondence from the municipality of Kincardine, Bill 5, Protecting Ontario by Unleashing Our Economy Act. Is that
All
what
in
you're
favor?
saying?
Sorry, everybody understand?
does that send a message to the Premier's office of our support, or is that just we quietly support? 'Cause
And
I'd rather-
further, that the, we can send it, I can send it on. That's fine. Yep.
in my opinion, I, as a counselor, I don't know if the group feels the same, but I gather that they do, that we want to let them know that this is not the way that Ontario should be governed. We have a democracy. You don't ride roughshod over rules that have already been put in place for good and just reasons.
Yeah, it would be forwarded on. It would be forwarded on to Doug Ford, Stephen Leche, Lisa, going to Lisa Thompson and Amo.
That's what I would like to see.
So it would actually go to our MPP. This is the.
Yes, Lisa
MPP
Thompson is,
first.
yes, we would send it to our MPP.
So it wouldn't go to Lisa.
No, no, this is what theirs stated, so.
Yes.
And we can send, and I can put a copy, I can just say that a copy of the motion be forwarded to the Honorable Doug Ford, Honorable Stephen Leche, and our MP, and we aren't gonna send it to all Ontario municipalities, but we can send it to AMO as well. And this one also went to the Standing Committee on the Interior. Now, the Standing Committee, you could only put in your, anything that you had to say by, I think it was closed on May 26th for the submission.
Isn't it funny? how that
So,
happens?
and was, the first reading was on April 17th. So we will send it to all those, though, and I will put that in the motion.
Thank you.
So it also says the council formally request from the Ontario government that they reject Bill 5, so. So we'll vote on that motion first. All in favor of that motion? That's carried, thank you, and we'll vote on the correspondence now. All in favor of the correspondence? Carried, thank you very much. Okay, so we have the committee minutes for approval, cultural roundtable minutes of May 26th, 2025. I'll ask Belinda, wanna present, please?
We also have the testers. Launch that. Friday. Already. Great. Cases. So it's what. Well, and you can see on the website. I will work carefully. I can list. Where a lot of adults groups work. And then members see a large updates, there's a lot going on and this month. See that two different recommendations here. One is that all the students have heard it's
Questions for Belinda? So, where are we here? That, moved by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Councillor Elliott. The council received the cultural roundtable minutes of May 26, 2025 as information and approves any recommendation contained therein. Questions? A lot of information in that report. Strongly urge everyone to have a look and try and get out to all the activities that are happening. Call the question. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you. Want to go on to the DEI committee minutes, please, Belinda?
Yes. Yes, speakers. Again, the spouse. But, in the great presentation or efforts treatment around lives of resting, as well as all out there. Also the special development action council was formed, encouraging that the people and is now grow and is currently and be a local county. So that's nice. Something for functional space and also has to be that improve support space. We are very close to 914 logo. That right now is very unable to set very busy actually it's great. And on a side note, unfortunately, that's step in and just come in and step off outside. Know that Jessica did offer to provide any support. What's going on?
We have a motion moved by Councillor Gunson, seconded by Councillor Dirksen. Council received the diversity, equity, and inclusion minutes of May 15th, 2025 as information and approves any recommendations contained therein. Questions for Belinda?
I think that's what else mentioned. How do you find that? And find parts happening something out.
And it was really good to see the Grove attendance at the St. Kitts Day Friday. So interesting to talk to the young lady that works in the Center Wellington Grove. And she was really quite pleased to be in Palmerston at Kids Day, and it was really interesting to talk to her about the differences in the two groves, where they're situated and such like. So, no questions? I'm going to call the question. All in favor of the minutes? It's carried. Thank you. Thank you, Belinda. And I'm going to pass the chair to Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. And I'm going to turn the floor to Chris Carroll to give a report on the Tri-Fire Services Strategic Plan, or at least I'm not sure who's doing it, as you listed here.
Hey, it's Mark.
Okay, thank you. That was nicely done.
I don't think it is, it's almost.
So the bus coming.
So I love presentations. All right, so-
Welcome, Deputy Chief Lowes. Would you go ahead, please, being as you have got the short straw?
I did. Yes, I did. All right, well, through you, Deputy Mayor Anderson, I suppose I'm here to talk about the strategic plan. And our strategic plan is kind of more of a strategic sprint because there is a shortened timeline of 3 to 4 years. But most of this work has already started. It just kind of needs firmed up a bit. So yeah, next slide, please. Yeah. So basically, strategic plan, as all of you know, is a guiding document. And we're hoping that this one propels our organization into the future embraces change, and fosters a culture of continuous improvement. Next slide, please. Our vision, although I'm not going to read both of our vision and mission statements out loud, the key part of our vision statement is that we would like to be a leader in fire and emergency services, and we want to focus on continuous improvement and collaboration in terms of our vision. The strategic pillars of this plan, I'll start with a P. So in terms of the strategic pillars, we want to focus on our people, prioritizing those that we lead and serve. Our performance, we would like to deliver outstanding results with precision, focusing on making decisions based on data. And partnerships, emphasizing collaboration and shared goals, both with partnership agencies and within our communities. Next slide, please. So what we did when we developed our strategic plan was we sectioned our service into core service areas and then assigned those core service areas across the 6 management team members. And then they were to do a gap analysis of those areas. So that could mean surveying certain parts of the membership or talking to those people, could mean sending out surveys to key stakeholders or just looking at data that we have in the past and coming up with recommendations in those key areas. So in terms of our, next slide, presentation, what I have done is taken those core service areas and just highlighted some of the key recommendations from those areas. I did not put all 67 recommendations into the presentation, just the ones that we should maybe focus on. So current challenges over the next few years, volunteer recruitment and retention will be one of those challenges, investing in or implementing initiatives to keep our firefighters engaged and employed for a long time. There's been a huge shift in the fire service over the last few years. We have seen quite a large turnover due to retirements within our service. And the C word, COVID, has changed a lot of people's expectations about work and life. And our service has also gotten extremely young, and they all have young families. So we would like to support those young families to be able to still be a part of our membership for years to come when they come out of those early family years and have more capacity to dedicate to us. We still want them around at that point. So investing in recruitment and retention is one of our challenges, but it's also something that I see a great opportunity in. Next slide. Infrastructure needs. So for the other 2 municipalities, renovating outdated stations and planning new builds will be what we focus on. In the last 5 to 10 to 15 years, we have renovated or are in the process of renovating all of our Minto stations. So we don't foresee great infrastructure needs when it comes to buildings in Minto. Next slide, please. Technological advancements is another huge trend. So the fire service has come a long way in 10 years, but it's going to go even farther over the next 10 with next gen 911 and all of the different technologies coming into play. And the fact that the service is going towards data driven decision making. And then fleet costs will be the 4th challenge. Fleet costs continue to rise probably every day. And we are going to look at trying to find alternative solutions to maintain our service, either with what we have or with less. So in terms of recommendations, next slide, please. If we start with mechanical and fleet, basically those factoids on the slides are just kind of about that area and kind of what's happening in the province. So I'm not going to read those, but next slide. The highlights for mechanical and fleet is we would like to forecast future needs by planning 25 years ahead. So we'd like to bring to you a 25-year master truck plan. We'd like to streamline equipment and apparatus across all 7 stations, acting as one department instead of 3 individual ones. And aligning with that, standardizing equipment and apparatus so that all of our firefighters, no matter which borders they're crossing, have access to the same equipment, same protocols, same setup. In terms of fire prevention, next slide, please. Sorry, mine's not going. We would like to increase our proactive inspections based on our current CRA, which we completed and brought to council last summer. targeting high-risk occupancies. And then in parcel with that, we would like to create a user interaction cycle that informs users on the benefits of proactive inspections instead of kind of being scared of us as inspectors. And we'd like to standardize our investigation procedures across all three departments and then ensure that the data collected from inspections is getting crossed over into prevention and public education so that we can put in SOGs and public education's campaigns that match our data. In terms of human resources, retention generally costs less than recruitment. So we'd like to focus on retention. We don't foresee having to increase our current staffing levels on the operations side. In the next few years, we feel that our levels are appropriate. We would like to, due to the increase in residents across our communities that were not born and raised in Minto, but maybe come from urban areas, we'd like to highlight the benefit of being a volunteer firefighter and the volunteer firefighter lifestyle in terms of a campaign to get those people interested. And we'd really like to focus on wellness and engagement plans, as cancer prevention and PTSD prevention are two hot topics in the fire service right now that our ministry is investing a lot of money in. And we'd like to work on organizational culture by maintaining and augmenting the fact that our service is a family. So again, in terms of infrastructure, next slide, please. Not too much happening in Minto for infrastructure, but we'd like to have a plan to build new stations eventually in Drayton and Mount Forest and do some minor maintenance renovations in Moorfield. Next slide. In terms of operations, structure fires are forecasted to increase over the next few years in the province. And what we would like to highlight out of the operations section is we'd like to implement new response zones that again looks at Minto, Mapleton, and Wellington North as one area. And we'd want to ensure that there are seamless borders across those areas so that you're getting the closest station responding to the incident. Doesn't matter what logo they're wearing. In terms of public education, we'd like to look at building strong public education networks. And the highlights from that is to develop public education programs related to key findings from our current data and newly completed community risk assessment. We'd like to increase our community engagement across all three communities and investigate hiring public education specialists. Next slide. Training. Obviously, training is the bulk of what our firefighters do, and what makes our department really great. We'd like to increase the access of in-house training opportunities by developing more in-house instructors. So currently our firefighters go to our Wellington County Recruit School, which is hosted all over the county, centrally in Fergus. But we feel that a lot of our current firefighters have interest in being able to teach some of the courses. So sending them to become train the trainers just increases training, or makes it more accessible if people can attend training their own department. We'd like to increase our cohesion between stations, because if we're going to operate in a borderless world, we want our people to like each other. And we'd like to complete a training center feasibility study to see if we can build some semblance of our own training center within the three municipalities. In terms of growth and future needs, the highlight for that is just to make sure that we have a good handle on future needs within each municipality, and to make sure that we're projecting our needs appropriately and making sure that we have the resources to meet those needs. And that's basically it from Cole's notes version of the strategic plan. So there were 68 recommendations that came out of the strategic plan. I guess those you would call my favorites, and that's it.
Thank you for presenting that report. We have a recommendation that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby receives report Fire 2025-006, Tri-Fire Service 2025 to 2028 Strategic Plan prepared by the Director of Fire Services for information purposes. And further, that the Council of the Town of Minto approves and adopts the 2025 to 2028 Strategic Plan as presented. Are there any questions? Yes, Counselor Elliott.
Lise, maybe you could help me with this. What type of resume would it take for someone to become a volunteer, volunteer firefighter? And do you ever turn people away? Or have you?
Yeah, so in terms of the resume, we don't have any specific criteria. Anybody can submit a resume to be a volunteer. We like to kind of make our decision based on the interview process. And actually, it is fairly competitive in Minto. We do a lot of a lot of interviews for positions, so we have had to turn people away in the past. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions or comments? Mayor Turton?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Smaller fleets is something that we're looking at. We just, do you have a picture of that? That's why you're the chief, right? Designation.
Yeah, so basically we're looking at, so we have a variety of different types of apparatus now. So what we're looking at is if we can streamline the trucks that don't go out as often to something that we can take out more often. Because like right now in some stations, we have rescues that don't go out very often. So there's really no purpose for that apparatus. If we can move it into maybe multi-purpose apparatus. So that's what we're trying to do, as long as we can still get people out to the fire. So yeah, we're trying to look at streamlining that way.
Okay, so that sounds great. So a little piggyback off of Ron, recruitment. Not a serious issue right now. I understand that. I think current challenges is where that was the designation for current challenges. Is there serious recruitment issues or?
It varies for each station. Minto's pretty solid, like Palmerston's full, Clifford's full. Hairston has had some people either retire, get different jobs, or move over the last little bit that we'll have to recruit in Hairston, but Minto itself is pretty solid for recruitment.
Well, I think it's good theory. I think I heard what you say was people retire to raise their family and then they're welcome to come back. Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, essentially it's not that they retire, it's just that they maybe kind of pull away a little bit and then they come back. So yeah.
Good. Thank you. That's a great report. So thank you for that.
Any other questions or comments?
Sorry, just through you, if we could just have the mover and seconder noted as well.
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting to do that. Moved by Counselor Dirksen, seconded by Counselor Gunson. All of those in favor? And that's passed. And I'll pass the chair back to Mayor Turton.
Thank you very much. Deputy Mayor Anderson, your votes are read. Okay, so we have, moving right along, we have a presentation by our CAO, and it's CAO 2025, the Whiteman Municipal Access Agreement. So go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Turton, through you to members of council. Since I joined Minto, I have been looking through a lot of the files, and I noticed that we do not have a current access agreement with Whiteman, who is a great partner of ours here in the town of Minto, a great business here in the town of Minto. Essentially, what a municipal access agreement is it's a contract between the municipality and the service provider, and it basically grants permission from the municipality to the service provider to install and maintain infrastructure, and then what that looks like contractually. So since we don't currently have an agreement with Whiteman, I went back and forth with the president and CEO of Whiteman, and we come to an agreement on a new agreement. So I'd like to present that to council and ask that they would allow us to move forward with the signing of this agreement.
Okay, I have a recommendation moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, second by Councillor Elliott, that the Council of Town Minto hereby receives report CAO 2025-03, Whiteman Municipal Access Agreement prepared by our Chief Administrative Officer and Deputy Clerk for information purposes. Further, that the Council of Town of Minto hereby approves the Whiteman Municipal Access Agreement and provide direction to the mayor and the director of legislative services, clerk, to bind the corporation by signing the agreement. Questions to our CAO, Councillor Dirksen.
Thank you, Mayor Turton, through you to our CAO. This is very thorough. So does it follow municipal access agreements that Whiteman's have with other municipalities? Like I don't think you came up with this in the middle of the night, so I'm just wondering how, like where does this come from? There's a lot of legalese in it and so on and so forth. And does it match other municipal access agreements?
Through you, Mayor Turton, to Councillor Dirksen, although I like to think that I'm quite bright. No, this is a
You
standard,
are.
this
You
is
are.
a standard template that other
see.
municipalities have as well. And you've jigged it to make sure that Minto is properly secured.
Okay, I think it's a great idea, because, they've done a lot of work in Minto, starting with Hairston many years ago. So yeah, I think it's a great idea to have things down on paper.
Councillor Zimmerman, go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Turton, through you. I'm just wondering, CAO Fertney, is there any other service providers that have this access granted to them in our town?
Through you, Mayor Turton, to Councillor Zimmerman, I guess Bell Telephone is one, Union Gas is another one. So the main service providers typically do, and we do have current agreements with them. It's just this one was missing, and so I wanted to make sure that we were.
Very good. Thank you. Councillor Dirksen, go ahead.
Maybe you just didn't mention this one, but Eastlink would be another one. If we don't have one, we should probably put one.
Through you, Mayor Turton, to Councillor Dirksen, yes, that is correct.
Perfect.
Other questions? Okay, there's no question. I'm going to call the question. All in favor of this motion? Carried, thank you. Announcements. We'll start with Councillor Elliott.
That's fantastic. Last weekend, police and firefighters put on a presentation at the arena. It's fantastic. I'll have Khalees come to the mic and explain to them what exactly it was all about. I know I know Chris isn't the only one that has the power to move you. Yeah, you deserve a pat in the back and you should do it. So.
Thank you.
13 or 14 different safety activities with OPP, fire, EMS, or paramedics, lifeguards, and I don't know, public health was there. There was, yeah, I think 14 or 15 vendors. OPP was there. And I'm going to give everybody my phone to see Ron's debut as a paramedic. So.
It's a great picture.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Far better suit than what I wear every week.
Lovely.
Every 2 weeks.
Very nice. I wondered if he was thinking about applying to be in the forces with his questions there.
I've been there. They don't want me anymore.
Oh. Thought maybe you were looking for something to keep you busy.
Thanks, Khalees. It was fantastic. Yeah, she doesn't build it up the way it was, but man, those kids enjoyed themselves. I watched them get from event to event and how the imagination of the different groups to put the projects and the programs on. It was phenomenal. And it's a really good thing that you do. We should continue doing that every year. Okay.
Yeah, I can just add my thanks as well. I was there. It was giving me a tour. We were around and talked to everybody, and it was all the different group providers. It was really good. I really enjoyed it, and I know, what'd you say, 640? And there was a lot of parents there too, like 640 kids. Quite a number of parents, and it looked like everybody was having a great time. Even some of the police force riding the little orange kitty car, or whatever it called it. It wasn't just the kids who were having fun. Yeah, that was terrific. I know Safe Communities were there as well, and it was terrific. Thank you. Councillor Guns.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. I got a couple things. So on behalf of the Southeast Surge Hockey Executive, we just wanted to thank Minto for allowing us to do tryouts in May. And they just wanted me to thank the staff, and the ice was in great shape, even though the weather was warmer at times. And the staff was great to work with. And yeah, they just wanted to pass on a thank you to allowing us to be in the arena. And then this Saturday, I'm sure it's going to be mentioned a few times, Harrison Firefighters Breakfast is at the Harrison Arena. It's from 7 to 11 a.m. and entry is by donation. I'll let Jean speak. We got lots of pancake mix and sausage, so come on out.
Yeah, what's your job, Councillor Johnson? Are you running
Delegate.
it, or are you being told what to do?
I delegate.
Public relations.
Since I'm in charge of it, I get to delegate on Saturday.
Councillor Dirksen.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. I just wanted to thank staff for taking the initiative to lower the flags last week to show our sympathy to the grieving families in Walkerton. It was a terrible tragedy, and the outpouring of support from a huge area has been very evident, but it was good for us to be a part of it as well. So thank you.
It was quite a tribute as well. On Saturday afternoon, I just happened to be watching the opening of the Blue Jays, and TSN had a tribute on Jamie Campbell, I think, talked about baseball, softball is a very small community in our country, in our province, and he talked about how it all developed and how different things happen, and the condolences from TSN. It was quite a tribute. So, Councillor Zimmerman.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. So I won't steal James' thunder here, although I want to.
Well, go ahead.
Belinda already picked off a couple of mine, so we'll go with that.
Then they
So-
weren't yours.
So they weren't mine.
Set them free.
So something a little bit different, as part of the Palmerston 150 celebrations, the Harrison Historical Society, along with the Palmerston Railway Heritage Museum, is sponsoring a headstone hunt and plaque hunt. Kind of different. So this is going to start actually tomorrow, June 4th. And the intent is to grab an entry form from either the Railway Museum or the Harrison Historical Room at the library here in Harrison. And they're going to have a whole bunch of questions about information recorded on tombstones and plaques. Fill out the entry form, and then on August 2nd, part of the 150th celebration at the Northern Theater, the winners are going to be announced. And then we're going to do the same thing in Harrison, starting on June 11th. The society is sponsoring a headstone hunt here, and it's going to run until August 6th, and the winners are going to be announced at our Harrison Street Party on August 9th. Entry forms are at the historical room in the library. So,
Deputy Mayor Henderson, go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. So several things, actually. Councillor Zimmerman and I had the pleasure or privilege of attending FCM this past weekend in Ottawa. Mr. Carney, Prime Minister Carney, made an appearance. It was sort of up in the air. They kept it a surprise until he got there, but he did a very nice interview with, I can't remember her name. What's that young lady's name? Anyway, sounded pretty positive. He's got a smile on his face still. We'll see. Elizabeth May also gave a very inspiring talk. She's a very inspirational leader to listen to. She was in charge of another party. She might have been the prime minister, because she's very interesting to listen to. Anyway, we learned lots, saw lots. it's a busy weekend. Weather was terrible, but you did learn, everybody's on the same page. We need to build more houses. We need more affordability. We need to ensure jobs. So everybody has the same. I don't know that anybody has any answers. Did you get any answers?
No, I didn't. I did learn that it doesn't matter what size your municipality is,
Mhm.
whether it's 500 people or 500,000 or a million or whatever. We all have exactly the same problems. We're ready to go to work. We just need cooperation from the upper tier governments, provincial and federal, to loosen the purse strings.
Yeah, that was sort of the primary message that came out, that
Yeah.
everybody needs infrastructure funding from the upper levels of government for the municipalities to be able to move forward with the initiatives that are coming from the upper levels of government. We just need the support to move forward. Anyway, enough about that out of town stuff. Saturday, as everybody knows, is a busy day coming up. So there's the farmer's market opening up, there's the fireman's breakfast, and when you're finished at the fireman's breakfast, you can just walk all across the driveway, parking lot to the garden festival. And we have about 24 different vendors. There will be lunch and fresh baking there available as well. There will be activities for children. We're going to teach them how to plant some seeds and how to make little glow in the dark lanterns to take home for their moms or dads. Or I guess Father's Day is coming up. Mother's Day is already passed, but so it promises to be a really good day. There's lots of silent auction items that are worth having a peek at, and lots of raffle prizes as well. Sally Andrade is our new chairperson of this committee, and she's done a great job getting it organized. Followed by Sunday is Pride in the Park. Apparently, County Councillor Anderson is going to be driving the train for a couple of hours, followed by Mayor Turton. So maybe take a seatbelt along if Mr. Anderson is driving that tractor. I'm not sure, but I'm not driving it because I'm afraid I'd lose somebody off the back of it. And we have a birthday party to celebrate at our house, so I'll be prepping for that. There was some mention, it didn't get covered in the minutes, but the community pantry. So I don't know if that was generally announced to the community that Harriston is going to have a community pantry in the library shortly. And David and I are going to support it through our Christmas dinner funding in a way to meet people who have food security issues when they're not able to access the food banks. So hopefully that will be an initiative that will be welcomed amongst the community, and with the results of that, there'll be one in each library, I believe. And we'll do whatever we can with those funds to support all three of them if necessary, but it will give people some helping hands when they need one and they don't have access to anything else. So we're hoping that will be a welcome addition to the library services. And I think that's all I had.
Great, thank you. Couple items. On Friday, we had an open house, Well Initiatives in Palmerston. It was, there was a lot of folks there attended. And we'd just like to welcome, again, Well Initiatives to the Palmerston Industrial Park. A little bit of county news, the Arthur Works Garage was opened last week. It's, for those who don't know, from Parker to Arthur. It's on that highway. It's by Altry, which is now Walker, but big, beautiful garage. Stop in and have a look. It's lovely, the grand opening. We also celebrated the 20th anniversary of Minto Auto last week. That's 20 amazing years. Not sure if anybody said anything about the great, wonderful volunteers from the gala on May 24th. It was a wonderful event. There was a lot of people there, a lot of money spent, a lot of money donated. And I just can't say enough about Dale Franklin and her group of volunteers, and it was amazing. Last week and this week, we've had a couple of medical students from the University of Kingston Medical College. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but they've been in our community. There was two young men in their second year last week here in our community, spent a lot of time in the hospital and then in and around the area. They had time to do the upstairs in the escape room in Harriston. They really enjoyed it. This week, there's a couple of young ladies that are in their second year as well that happen to be here from Kingston, and so we just welcome them. It's all about rural medicine. Our CAO and myself spent the day yesterday at Queens Park. If you're okay, CAO Furton, you can give us a report in a second. I just wanted to throw another thing out there. I asked Cole to run some of these off. It has to do with the affordable housing gap. That's kind of what the county is calling it's gap housing. It's right in there where, and it has to do with the continuum of care that there was money put aside a number of years ago to build a big, lovely building in and around the museum, and it never ever got off the ground. So the money that was put aside is going to be allocated $1 million each to each of the 7 municipalities to be creative and help the county spend that money. And there is quite a list of criteria in reference to that. But again, the staff, council, whoever in each municipality, they come up with an idea, put it on paper, present it to the county, and the county says yay or nay. There is an opportunity there for us to get some more affordable housing in our community. So thank you for that. Thank you to the county for doing that. The next item is our visit to Queens Park. So I just encourage for anybody that hasn't been to Queens Park lately, it's lovely. Need to get to question periods. It's very educational. Go ahead, sir.
Through your Mayor Turton to members of council. As the mayor mentioned, he and I joined the other CAOs and mayors within Wellington County. We kind of had a Wellington County day at Queens Park. A huge shout out to MPP Matthew Ray and his team of staff for organizing this event. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but overall, I think it was an amazing opportunity. And we had a lot of good dialogue with many of the ministers and their staff. We left very early in the morning and we got back relatively late as well. But it was a good day overall. We had the opportunity to speak with the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, and we talked about funding for affordable housing, growth management, preservation of agricultural lands, and flood mitigation. We also spoke with the Minister of Red Tape and Reduction, and we spoke about the studies needed for infrastructure projects being done by a municipality. We then had the opportunity to speak with the Minister of Transportation about the utility crossing and coordination with Metrolinx, and that was an issue that Belfast Massa was looking to speak to him about, as well as Highway number 6 and rerouting around the Fergus area. We then spoke with the Minister of Natural Resources about aggregate licensing on prime agricultural lands. And then finally, we had the opportunity to speak with the Ministry of Finance, and we talked about advancing the property tax assessments, Homer's governance, and MPAC overstepping their role. And so we had a great day, a lot of dialogue, which is great. It wasn't just one-sided. And of course, as the mayor mentioned, we had the opportunity to sit through question period, and that was kind of interesting as they debated Bill 5, and we actually had a member, an MPP, that was escorted out because he wasn't very kind to the premier in his comments. So that was sort of an interesting happening. Anyway, we enjoyed ourselves, and I hope that this continues every year if we have the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
And the red tape issue's been on the topic for quite a number of years. But I understood to say yesterday that there is a red tape website for anybody that does come up with ideas that we can reduce red tape. They're all put on that website, so it'll be interesting to look at that. Thank you very much. We'll move along to, we've got a resolution by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Gunson, with the Committee of the Whole convene in regular council. All in favor of that motion? Carried, thank you. Notices of motion? Anything under that heading? Got a motion by, a resolution by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, that the Council of the Town of Minto ratifies the motions made in committee of the whole. All in favor of the motion? Carried, thank you. Bylaws, moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, second by Councillor Zimmerman, that bylaw 2025-027 be read a first, second, and third time. Pass an open council, seal the corporation. All in favor of that motion? Confirmatory bylaw moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Gunson, with bylaw 2025-028. Confirm actions of the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Minto respecting the meeting held June 3rd, 2025, be read a first, second, and third time. Pass an open council, seal with the seal of the corporation. All in favor of the motion? Thank you. That's carried. Adjournment. Moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, second by Councillor Zimmerman. Council of the Town of Minto adjourned to meet again following it. All in favor of the motion? It's carried. Thank you very much.